So I just started this video to see where it goes. I don't know yet if I'm gonna post it or not. So this is me being transparent about my life and my experience with it. Right now I am sharing with you guys a depressive phase, my depressive phase that I'm having currently. I've been depressed for the past few months. When I get depressed, and this is probably going to sound very similar to a lot of you guys, but when I get depressed, I don't do anything. I'm a very one-track minded person. I've realized that I cannot do 2, 3, 4, 5 things at one time. If I'm dealing with more than one thing, I have to handle each thing one at a time, and complete each thing one at a time, or I'm going to half do everything. Sometimes what happens though, whenever I have more than one thing either to deal with or whatever the case may be, I shut down. I either shut down or I get overwhelmed. And I try to do everything at once and then shut down, which looks like this. You can see that I'm at Stripes. I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes, maybe 15, before I decided to do this video. So now it's probably been 20. And me being at home to try to handle the things, or at least some of the things that I need to do. I don't know if this is a thing, but I do have my own room and things like that, but I don't like the feng shui in it, which, for those of you who don't know what feng shui is, it's basically the placement of everything in the room, and rearranging everything in your room to be in alignment with your energy, to be in alignment with you, pretty much, to bring balance, to not only the space, but to help you be balanced as well and grounded. So your room, my room, to me, I would want it to be that place to make me feel grounded, balanced, and put me in a space where I'm able to get shit done. Now you might be saying, like, why not just rearrange your room? I live with my grandma right now. She has dementia. She's still coherent. She's still somewhat coherent. So like, she just really forgets and is all over the place sometimes. So she has old furniture in the house, and I was only able to take out these two. The room is kind of small, and I was only able to take out these two dressers, these two solid wood dressers out, and put them in the outhouse, or the storage house. And I have a queen size bed and a very large vanity dresser in the room as well, and a chest in the room that's also very large. The vanity dresser is empty now because I have taken things out of it, like a lot of things out of it, everything out of it pretty much. But it's still extremely heavy, and there's nowhere for me to put it. Like, there's no place for me to put that. So, I'm not really able to move those things. I can't move them out. You know what I mean? Unless I were to sell them, but they're not mine. So, what's it called? But yeah, so like, and currently I'm being 100 with you guys. I'm not working. I haven't been working for some months now to try to help out my grandma, but also to try to figure my life out and what I want for myself in my life. But as some of you very well know, being broke makes you even more miserable. Like, a lot of people say money isn't the key to happiness. That may be true, but it's the key. Like, it's the key to help you on the way there. No, that's not true. But it does help. It definitely helps. I can tell you right now that if I had money like I want to have money, half of my problems would be solved, and I would still be depressed, but it wouldn't be as bad, because right now I'm boiling over. I'm at the very edge. I'm to the point where I want everything to stop. And I was telling a friend this, whenever I have suicidal thoughts, it's not so much that I want to die or hurt myself. It's more so, I just want to not exist. Those moments, I'm like, man, I just don't want to have ever existed, just for a while, you know, and then maybe come back when I'm ready. It used to be where I wanted to die, you know, and not come back at all. But still, in between those times, it would be that, like, I just need everything to really stop. I just need everything to stop. And for me, that's what it is a lot of the time. Like, I just really need it to stop. I need the problems to stop, the responsibilities to go away, me to just, because sometimes you get on your own nerves. You know, you don't understand a lot of the things that you do, you know. I fully believe we are divine beings having a human experience here on earth, right? And I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm really still trying to figure it out at 27 years old. And that's why I never really and I want to keep this mindset even when speaking it into existence, even when I get to where I want to be and further, right? I never really look at a person's age and say, oh, you should be here by now, because not only because of my situation, but because of other stories that I've heard where people, it'll take years, they'll be in their 40s, you know, and have blown up, right? Have been this successful, inspirational, purposeful person, this, you know, being, you know. And then there are those where it like all of that happens in their 20s or whatever, right? There's no certain age where you should be doing anything, you know, other than building yourself as a person, you know, building yourself as a person to be a good human being. And there's no specific criteria of being a good human being, as long as, to me, you're not harming anyone emotionally or physically, or mentally, you know. That's a start, right? And you're trying your best. You are really trying your best out here. So, because you can't, like, there's no such thing as perfect. There really isn't. I could describe what's perfect to me, but it's not going to be what's perfect to you, and vice versa. So, you know, but I'm very unhappy. I'm unhappy because of where I am, both physically and just in life. And while I have the understanding that a lot of things happen for a reason, I guess it's still very hard for me to be understanding. I have that understanding, but it's hard for me to be understanding, you know. And I am full of self-doubt right now, like, just full of it. I could say much harsher things about myself, but I'm really trying not to, you know. As a person who would like to think of themselves as being a spiritual person, and just trying my best out here, you know. And I also do feel like part of my purpose is to help others in different ways, and this being one of them, to be transparent about my life, you know, and discuss things that maybe not too many people talk about. More people are opening up about these things, so But yeah, you know, I'm trying to be raw. I'm trying to be as raw as possible because, like I said, I am boiling over. I'm tired. I'm tired of all of the things, everything. And like I said, this is coming from someone who, yes, I talk about everything happens for a reason. Yes, there's no such thing as coincidences. You know, everything falls into place in divine timing, all of the things. But we have our moments too. Us light workers have our moments too. And to me, I don't even particularly like the term light worker because for you to be a light worker, you have to understand the shadow. This is my shadow. This is my shadow. And I appreciate the shadow moments. I don't like experiencing them all the time, but once I gain an understanding of them, I'm better able to appreciate them and maneuver through them, get through them, you know, not get over them, but get through it. I got that from, what's that show called? I forgot that show. I forgot it. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. A show based in New York. It's by what's his director's name? I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry. And titles. If I think of it, I don't know. I may tag it somewhere if I post this, but yeah. So for all the genuine people who genuinely care, please add me to your prayers. For those who don't do shit about me, please. You know, something I used to do was whenever I wanted to cry, and I still do it sometimes, whenever I wanted to cry, or if I felt like I do now, the way I would try to brush it off is by telling myself that people are going through worse situations. For example, those in Afghanistan and the children, even the people my age who want to be living a normal life, even to have moments like I'm having, sitting miserable at Stripes would probably be somewhat, not necessarily a dream, I'm exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it would be way better than dealing with what they're dealing with, life or death. But something that we do, something that empaths do, is we'll be harsh towards ourselves when it comes to things like that. Like, hey, stop crying. Like, you really don't have the right to cry. But with other people who are expressing these same issues, we're like, oh no, don't do that to yourself. Like, stop beating yourself up. You're trying, you know, you're doing your best, you know, give suggestions, positive affirmations, things like that. Yet for ourselves, it's the hardest thing to do, because sometimes it could be really hard to believe. It can. Deep down, I believe it. I believe, like, anything is possible. I'm capable of anything, right? I have the power. I have all of it, whatever. But the experience I'm having now, you know, or I've been having, like, some of these experiences, it's just really hard to reach that place within yourself. And if you don't have that place within yourself, it's really hard to develop that, you know, to build on that, especially like when you've just been riding this wave of shit, you know. But I will say, because earlier today I was trying to name the things I'm grateful for, and I realized, like, I do have things that I'm grateful for, but the list wasn't that long. Like, the list wasn't that long, and sometimes it's just not gonna be. Sometimes when you're in this place, like where I am now, you won't be able to see all of the things that you should be grateful for. That's okay. Maybe you're not even meant to see it right now, because sometimes, like, And that's the thing about human beings. Sometimes when you try to make yourself be okay, when you're like in a really, really bad place, like a really shitty place, it pisses you off and can make you feel worse, you know, because it's kind of like a person telling you like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Pat, pat. I'm like, you know what? It probably would have been better for me not to say anything at all, like, to you. And that's kind of what it's like. So, but it's also difficult to find that balance between not letting yourself fall into the pit of shit and then also not forcing yourself to be overly positive. It's like finding this middle ground. It's like, I feel like shit. I am miserable. I feel like a failure at life. I feel like I can do nothing right. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm too old for shit, you know, just really going on myself, right? But I still believe that I'm capable of achieving what I want, even though to other people it may seem impossible. Sometimes to me it seems impossible, but deep down inside, I know there's a chance. There has to be a chance. I know I have the potential and the ability to achieve my goals. I know that there is a way. I just haven't found it yet. I haven't found my way yet. And I specifically say I haven't found my way yet, because what I used to run into a lot, I've even lost a friend over this. Actually, no, it wasn't over this, but we've had issues dealing with this. And I feel like the friendship would have ended anyway over this thing, over this type of thing. But what I run into a lot is, you know, and whether it's people who really care about you or people who don't and just feel like they know what you should do with your life, what you should be doing with your life, and they know the right route for you to take to be successful, whatever it is, you know, sometimes, regardless of the intention, or a lot of the time, regardless of the intention, someone advising you like, well, you should do X, Y, and Z. You should execute this like X, Y, and Z. Why didn't you do it the way I told you? Or you're not doing it right. Well, what's the right way? You know, what really is the right way? There is no right way, just like there is no such thing as perfect. You know, there's no criteria that says to be successful, no matter what you want to do in life, this is all you got to do. I wish there were. I would love that. But then there probably wouldn't be as much substance to the success, right? Or to having a successful life. But no, there's no criteria. There's no shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I hate that. I would have done it like this, or I wouldn't have done that. That helps me none. That tells me nothing. It does nothing. So please, keep it to yourself. You're not helping. Telling me what I should have done, you're not helping. Telling me what I could have done, you didn't help. It's already done. Do you have a solution for what I'm dealing with right now? That's what I'm saying. So, you know, and this is for people who do that and also people who receive it, and for those who have been on both ends. And this goes for me as well, because sometimes I may do it and I don't realize it, you know. But what's it called? It's not helpful to have someone telling you what you should have, could have, and would have done, you know, or what they would have done. It actually does the opposite. So for someone who has good intentions with giving advice with, you should have done this, I wouldn't have done this, whatever, it doesn't help when you say that to someone and they already are experiencing self-doubt. They already are miserable, very unhappy, depressed, They feel like shit. They feel useless. They feel like a failure at life, that they can do nothing right. So you telling them that they shouldn't have done it this way, or they could have done it this way, you're kind of just drilling deeper into that, you know? And for those of you who experience that with people who you feel like they don't have good intentions in mind, then you need to cut that person off. I'm sorry, but you need to do it. I don't care who they are. Family, friend, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel like, you know, if you don't feel like you're actually receiving help from what this person is giving you, then you're not receiving anything, you know? You're not getting help. Like, you know, it's doing the opposite of what you want, which is either help or advice or guidance on, you know, how you can better be able to get to where you want to be. There are advices that help, you know, but usually you're only going to use bits and pieces of that advice. It's not going to be to the T. And usually when someone advises you, do this just like this, right? And I'm talking about when you're trying to find your way towards your success, you know, towards your fulfillment, you know, and you're doing something exactly how someone else said you should do it. It's either going to fail or it's going to be temporary success because it did not come from you genuinely. I've said this in my readings. I'm saying it now because I strongly believe this. I've seen it, you know? Oh my God, I'm hot. My AC doesn't work, so. But yeah. Wow, it's really hot. Oh my God. And my windows don't work, so. But I'm grateful that I have a car, because if I didn't, anyway, I'm praying for you guys out there too, genuinely. And by praying, I just mean, I hope whoever is having a similar, if not the same experience that I'm having right now, or worse, I want the best for you. I want the best in every aspect of your life for you. If you're in a situation where you feel trapped, you feel stuck, you feel suffocated, number one, a lot of it is coming from you. And I can tell you that because of me. A lot of it is coming from me. Yes, your external factors don't help. Your situation doesn't help. But a lot of it is from your mentality. You're not meant to force yourself to think positive, but have a start. Start somewhere. Start anywhere, you know? Doing things that make you feel good, you know? But I also want to say, take care of everything you need to take care of. Whether it's one thing at a time, two things at a time, move based on what works for you. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I may not be the best example, but I'm here to tell you that it is, you know. And I'm sure there are better examples out there for you to witness as proof. I'm going to say something my friend told me earlier today that actually helped a little bit, which was, everything happens for a reason. You might be in the situation that you're in for a specific reason that you're not able to understand yet. But later on, it might make sense, you know? Maybe even if you deeply think about it, it could already kind of make sense. My situation makes sense, but it's still frustrating. It's still, I still don't necessarily like it. Like, but at the same time, like all in the same breath, at the same time, I'm somewhat grateful for it, you know? Part of that situation, like I mentioned earlier, my grandma has dementia. So it's been very hard, exceptionally hard. we're both new to this. She's new to dementia. I'm new to experiencing her with this. So, or anyone with dementia. Well, no, I'm lying. Personally experiencing someone with dementia. You know, I'm blamed for stealing money, stealing undergarments, stealing in general, because it's just my grandma and I. I'm blamed for being disrespectful, but she has that very dated outlook on a parent and child relationship. And I'm now better able to, when I say better, I use that word very strongly. Better does not mean I got this shit down pat. No, I don't. I still don't. I'm very much tired and I'm very much frustrated, but I also very much love my grandma, and I care about her, and I want her to be okay, you know. Part of or another part of what I've been experiencing is questioning. I might have to start this video somewhere else, sorry.